Hello and welcome back to Barossa Valley Crafts. Today I want to show you a couple of cards that I've made using stamps and stencils. So just see how we go. It's just a bit of a play around and a couple of ways to use them. So here we go. So we'll do one like this first. So I'm not going to give measurements only because you can do it to suit whatever size stencils and stamps that you're using. But this is the one that I'm going to be doing, which isn't overly big, but it's reasonably easy. So let's get some scrap paper to start with. Now with this one, I'm going to be using Distress Oxides, Mermaid Lagoon, Stormy Sky, and Rustic Wilderness. So we'll start off with, we'll do Mermaid Lagoon for the water. So this particular stamp I'm using here is a Nellie Snellen scenescape stamp. So just using the acetate part at the moment to get an idea on what's going to go where. So if I hold that over the card, so to start with, I'm going to do the blue. I'm going to do it sort of in this area here. So I'm just blending very lightly. I don't want it too heavy, and you'll see why when I do the next step. So there, and then the next one we will use Rustic Wilderness. So it's going to go up to about here and down there. Again, I'm not doing it too dark because I don't want it too dark. And then the rest of it will be Stormy Sky. So we'll just blend that one a bit. I think this pad's nearly dry, so a bit harder to get out. Okay, so now I'm going to get a stencil. So this is actually one of the Lavinia stencils. So if you can see, I've got you can just sort of distinguish the sky from the water. So we're going to pop the stencil over the top of that. And using the same Stormy Sky that was used on the sky, I'm now going to go over the stencil with that colour. And this time I'm going to just do it a little bit heavier. So when you'll see when I lift it, the effect that it will give. Okay, so there's that one. Then I'm going to go over the water again with the Mermaid Lagoon. Okay, so now we'll lift that. You can see there it's given like a bit of a shadowy effect. Now I'm going to stamp the stamp on there. Gosh, where are we? So that one's going to go on there. So I might lift it up a little bit. Move it across a bit. Probably, maybe it would be better if you use a card that's bigger than what you need, because you can always trim it down, but this will still work. So now I need, what I'm stamping with now is the Versifying Clair Nocturne. So I'll just ink up the stamp. And give it a press. This is one particular stamp that I wouldn't do without a stamp press. because I'd hate to muck it up and have to start all over again. There we go. So that one's all right. So there's that one done. And now I'll just wipe the stamp off because I don't want the ink drying on the stamp. I'll just put that back on there. And I'll put that card together. So I'll just, you can use any colour matte card that you like. I just find the black sometimes makes things stand out a little bit. Now I've already stuck the matte card onto the base card just to save a bit of time. And we'll just put that one on there. And there's that done. So you can actually see with the first one I've done, I haven't actually done it as dark when I went over it the second time as I have in that one. But it still gives a nice effect. So that's one way to use stencils and stamps. And then the other one I'm going to do is this. So with this one, I've used a Sweet Poppy stencil and a Lavinia stencil. So again, I'm not giving measurements only because you can do to suit whatever card size you like the stamps and stencils that you use might need a bigger or smaller card. So to start with, on the top part, we're going to do Stormy Sky. So I'm using Distress Oxides to do my blending because I find that's the best one to blend with. It's nice and creamy. And again, softly. Don't go too heavy because it's too hard to move once it's on, but you can always add more to it if you want it darker. Then on the bottom half of this one, I'm going to use Vintage Photo. So this is a fairly new one, so it's reasonably juicy. So we'll just pop that on first. Now, using the Sweet Poppy stencil, we're going to place the deers where we want them. And this time I'll go over it a little bit heavier. And now it doesn't have to be a perfect blend. It can have shading in the blending, that's fine. It'll just give a little bit more character to the items that you're blending over. Okay, so there's that one. Actually, I might go a little bit more around the back part of it. Just line it up again. Okay, just do a little bit darker there. That's better. Then using the other stencil, so I'm just going to go over it again. I'm going to try and avoid what I have just done with the other stencil. So again, I'm just doing it lightly, just so it gives a little bit of colour variation and not too much. And then on the top half, I'll go over the sky. Again, you don't have to use the same brand stencils and dies and stamps and things that I've used. Dies and stamps rather, not, sorry, I'll get it in a minute. Stencils and stamps. I haven't used dies with this one. Now we'll just lift it. And there you go. Oh, see, I've probably got a little bit too much over there, but that's okay. If you're going to put a sentiment, you could cover up that if you wanted to, but what I should probably do is taped where I'm doing it so that it doesn't lift it off. It doesn't cover over where I don't want it. But anyway, now we'll just stick that one on there. Make sure you got the card the right way. And give it a press. And there we go. So very easy to do. Doesn't take much at all. And you can do them to suit any occasion that you like. And you don't need a lot of equipment, and you don't need, like, these are just samples, and to give you ideas and inspiration, you can use any stencil, any sort of stamp that you like, just to play with and have fun. So I hope you enjoyed that little quick tutorial. If you've liked it, please give me the thumbs up, and please feel free to come and join us on my Facebook page, Cardmaking for Beginners and Beyond, or there is another one called Barossa Valley Crafts, and you can share your creations that you've seen here or anything you like. We do all sorts of crafts, not just paper crafts. So thank you for joining me, and hopefully you come back soon. Bye.